We watch a lot of really bad movies.
Almost weekly, yeah.
Yeah, almost weekly.
Pretty much every week we hang
Last
out.
night, we saw Morbius for the first time ever.
Which kind of broke the trend of watching bad movies.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like the Morbius part.
Yeah.
And,
I like what you said. It's not about how hard you morb, it's about how hard you're morbing.
Yeah, exactly. I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I actually thought it harder than you did.
Well, I don't know about that.
And I thought overall,
I think I laughed more than you over the course of the hour and 40 minutes.
So my problem with the movie was that there wasn't enough of it, but also the fact that it felt pointless.
Yeah.
Because like my thing with it was like it was a completely competent movie. Like,
as in, yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't say completely competent. I'd say like how it was shot.
Yeah.
And just
some of the effects
the fact
were cool.
it was a movie that
it was a movie. You're
had,
right.
I think, a beginning, middle, and end, but it just kind of felt like okay. I'm just trying to say it wasn't like, wow, this is a train wreck. It's more so, wow, why does this exist?
The first hour actually went by very fast, I'd say.
Yeah, but it's just like, I look back at it and I'm like, why? What did I just watch? Like, it was just
not much happened
pointless.
in it, but it went by pretty quick, I feel like.
That's the thing, because like it's not like it was mediocre.
It's just kind of lame.
It was fine. Yeah, it was just fine.
Yeah.
But it's just like everything about that movie could have been just summed up in like a 5-minute, like, you know, they could have had this Morbius guy as like a villain in a Spider-Man movie and just been like,
and every once in a while just cut away, show
just like here's what he was doing this entire time.
This is why I'm bad.
And it was just 5-minute whatever of his origin story.
Barely.
Because like almost. This entire movie was literally like, I guess his origin story, but it was like nothing really comes full circle. They don't really show much about like, okay, why should you care about his relationships, his friendships, and why when people like stab him in the back or like go against him or anything like that, why does that affect, how could that affect like the viewer, how could that affect him?
The
like,
morals
it's just,
are
like,
pretty shaky on what he's like trying to accomplish. Like he's trying to cure his disease that he has, which is like crippling him. And he finds out, like, oh, if I drink this blood or whatever, this artificial blood, it, like, makes me strong again. It saves me. But then it wears off after, like, 6 hours. Then he runs out of time. And it's like, you know, he has to figure out a way to do it. He's like, do I want to drink real blood or do I want to drink all this other blood? He's like, I don't know what to do.
Is there any story or reason as to, like, why that should be, like, wow, this is a big deal?
Well, like the blood?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Other than he needs it.
It's pretty, like, impressive, like, technologically, like
I guess, but why is that impressive to me? The movie's fictional.
Are you not impressed?
Unfortunately, it's fictional, but
for now.
Yeah, but it's just like I'm like, damn, that's great, good for him. Like why?
Yeah.
Like, why do I care?
Yeah, then Milo just kind of like wants the blood.
I noticed too.
Yeah, he just kind of like takes it at some point. It's like, yeah, I'm bad now. I'm a bad man who's a vampire.
Yeah, and Morbius is...
for some reason.
Is a fine man who's a vampire, maybe?
Yeah, well, he kills people at first, but then he's like, ooh, shouldn't have done that.
But isn't he supposed to be a villain? You see, why are people saying this movie is bad? Because it's actually making us discuss morality? Yeah. You see?
The box office don't lie.
Well, anyway, we watch our bad movies, and that was the latest one. So what would you say is I do have a list of most of the movies that we've seen. Yeah. Which is over a period of like 3 years. Yeah. There's a lot of them here.
Some of them are more memorable than others.
It keeps going.
Yeah.
And overall, so what would you say is the most memorable bad movie that you've seen off the top of your head, or just some of them? Yeah.
A lot of them do kind of blend together. I don't have a full, you know, this is the worst ever.
Well, right here, the first one on the list is Between Worlds.
That was the Brenda Song one, right?
No.
Okay.
That's Nick Cage fucking a mom and her daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that was entertaining at least. I can't remember anything that happened in it, but that was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, the next on the list is Good Burger, where Nicolas Cage fucks a mom and her daughter.
Are you sure about that?
Secret Obsession, it's the same damn movie as Good Burger.
So. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, and then the Bye Bye Man. You don't think it, don't say it. Don't think it, don't say it.
Okay.
Remember that guy?
I do now. Yeah.
Yeah. Belle and the Bulldogs. That's not a movie.
That's not a movie.
It's a show.
That's a show. That's a Nickelodeon show.
It's a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah. Ace McFumbles.
Ace McFumbles.
Yeah.
It's
a kid with a mustache who plays the news anchor.
Yeah, it's the first time the first time the girl in the county or something can play football. I don't know. The girl is playing football with the guys, and
it's a big deal.
Most of the show, that is the only deal.
Yeah.
And it's just like the most of the entire conflict is like, oh, girls playing football.
Yeah.
And then like the season finale. The season finale is they find out it's illegal for girls to play football
because it's Texas, baby.
Yeah. So they're just like they're going to the big game.
Yeah, the big dance.
The big game.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, Bella is their star player. So then the competing team is like, oh, we gotta look into like the old laws.
Yeah.
And then it said the laws are basically like girls can't play football. And it's just like, it felt like the show was building up to that moment.
Yeah.
Even though every episode is pretty much that moment. They're like, girls can't play football.
Right.
But Bella can.
There was like a couple other scenes, but yeah, it was basically just that.
Yeah, so, that's pretty much that show. Next up is The Nut Job. I don't remember. That was the movie. So that movie, there was a rat.
That's all I was going to say about it.
There was a rat in the movie.
That's all I had down about it. So.
And I think during the movie, I was like, there should be a counter on screen. There should be a countdown on screen whenever...
Until the next rat appearance.
Until the next rat. So it's just like, 3, 2, 1, rat! 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, rat! And then it's just like whenever it cuts to the next shot with the rat in the shot. Other than that, I don't remember a damn thing about that movie.
No.
Amy, AMI.
Was that another AI one?
Yeah, it was like Siri. Siri on the phone was a little weird.
Oh yeah, that was pretty lame.
There was like a jock, wasn't there? There was like some jock guy. Well, the next on the list is Hop.
Was that where the guy became the Easter Bunny?
Alright, that movie pissed me off.
Was that the one where he became the Easter Bunny, and they said he became the Easter Bunny at the start of the movie?
Yeah.
And that was the whole point of the movie?
I fucking hated that movie, mainly just because, like, at the beginning, there is no reason why they need to spoil the movie. And, like, I didn't care if the movie got spoiled, but I was literally like, why did you... Like, the beginning of the movie, like, James Marsden is narrating. He's like, yep, that's right. I became the world's first human Easter Bunny.
And then it's just
him
becoming it.
What the f***?
And then it's just him becoming it for like an hour and a half.
I'm like, you just ruined the ending for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, you could just start without that.
That's all I remember about that one.
You know, the camera's panning between, like,
It's like the Easter Bunny headquarters.
Yeah, and he's just
like,
yep, that's me.
All the bunnies.
The world's first human Easter Bunny. You might be wondering how I got in this predicament. Well, it all started, and then they show, like, whatever, Easter Island, where the bunnies are.
Yep.
And I'm just like, you could have just started there.
Yeah.
Why do you have to start here? Like, I'm like, yeah, now I'm gonna know that this guy changes his ways and decides, you know what, I like Easter.
Yeah,
I don't even remember what his problem was. He might be like a Scrooge about Easter.
I guess for some reason, like
the Russell Brand rabbit is just like
I forgot his Russell
like
Brand.
Man, you gotta
come on, man.
Easter's pretty great.
Give it a chance.
I don't know. I think he like was having like he didn't want to be the Easter Bunny. That was the thing.
Why did he have to become the Easter Bunny?
Because his dad was.
If his dad was the Easter Bunny, like how is James Marsden the first human Easter Bunny?
You see, that's the problem. We're reviewing this movie 2 years after seeing
it,
and I forget it. But next on the movie is Jinxed.
Was that Helvetica Black?
No, Helvetica Black was from Shorts.
Okay.
Jinxed was the only thing I remember. The only thing I remember about that movie was like at the very end. The entire movie is like this family is like kind of cursed to be unlucky.
Yeah,
like they have bad luck.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire movie they say like, I forgot rule number 7, always wear open-toed shoes.
So you don't get cursed or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and then at the very end they say, hey, you almost forgot rule 34.
Like that's like don't forget rule 34.
Like
and just
don't forget it. Don't forget it.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Arctic dogs.
Was that the polar bear looking at the camera?
Yeah, Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin polar bear.
There's just a polar bear in that movie, and all we really thought about was like, wouldn't it be funny if that polar bear just was randomly looking directly at the camera for a couple shots? Like, you know, it was pretty much like, and he's only in the background. Like, you know, imagine like this polar bear is just in the background, and like there's something else happening in the foreground. You know, like the main characters are talking, and you just see the polar bear just like. like blank stare, just looking at the camera. It's just kind of like a bad actor or something. Like, you know, he's just like, oh.
And an animated polar bear.
Yeah, they could have animated him to not be like that. And then we have Radio Rebel.
Oh, that was good. That was fun.
That was pretty good.
That was a fun watch.
That was fine.
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with Radio Rebel.
The main bit there was just we were talking about how she would give away her cover in a funny way.
Yeah.
Like she just give it away, like because she was like trying to be secret about who Radio Rebel is. Like, oh, it's me.
Yeah.
And I think our whole joke was like she just says it.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. That
who is Radio Rebel?
Like, I'm Radio Rebel.
Like,
damn it.
Oh, damn it.
Damn it.
Polaroid. I don't remember a damn thing about that movie. Other than it's really a camera that killed people.
Oh, yeah.
Take a picture of somebody and they die.
Right.
That's all I remember about that movie.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you anything about that besides that.
The Last Airbender.
That was ass.
Yeah.
That was ass.
That was ass in a Morbius way. Outside of, like, I think it was definitely more incompetent.
Yeah.
But Morbius was just kind of like ass and like plot was unnecessary, acting was subpar. Yeah. Everything was just really like bleh about it. The Last Airbender was kind of like that, but worse, like more egregious.
Yeah, they couldn't even get Aang's name right.
And like the CGI was just kind of like
the rock slowly floating.
Yeah, where it's just like if this was like an indie movie, fine, but it's just like when this is like a 150 million whatever blockbuster kind of thing. You know, it's kind of like, all right, man.
It's pretty
like,
rough.
Whatever.
To what it's from.
We have Death Note. That was in our stint of like watching Eric's favorite animes as movies that we have not seen, but you've seen Death Note.
Now I have, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't see it at the time.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Death Note. So.
I saw the movie first and then the series, which is probably the wrong order.
Well,
you probably should see the series and not the movie at all.
The only thing I really remember from Death Note was the fact that one of the Naked Brothers band members was like the guy. It was Nat Wolff.
Okay.
That guy.
Yeah.
He was a naked brother.
I know the Naked Brothers. I couldn't pick him out of a crowd.
I couldn't either, but I remember seeing like the credits. I'm like, wasn't that the name of like one of the Naked Brothers guys? And it sure enough was. Huh. And I don't remember anything. I don't remember what made that movie bad.
Yeah. Again, I
just remember it wasn't good. I don't remember what made it bad.
Yeah.
So it's just.
I liked the series. I don't remember what I felt about the movie. So.
What about Shorts? What do you like about Shorts?
There's a song where the character Helvetica Black is in the movie.
And
it's this like kind of emo like teenage girl.
Helvetica, Helvetica Black.
And that kind of bopped, so.
And I forget everything else about that movie.
Yeah, nothing else mattered.
No, Helvetica Black's dad like loses his ears or something. Or gets big ears. There's something about that in there.
Something about his ears?
If you liked Shorts, you'd remember.
I like Shorts. I like the song.
Yeah, what about Woody Woodpecker?
That was like the first one we ever saw, right?
Yeah.
That was like the first one.
Pretty bad, right?
Honestly, no. It was pretty good. We got a lot of mileage out of that one.
Yeah, exactly. That was a trick question. That was a trick question. Okay. Moving on to The Room. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked
The Room. I enjoyed it.
I didn't see it for the longest time. I watched like The Disaster Artist before it.
Yeah.
And then
I
knew all about The Room. Like, I've seen like reviews of it and like whatever.
I'd seen
like
enough to know
abridged
what it was.
versions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen like shortened versions of it. Yeah. But this was my first. This was my first rodeo. Yeah. And gotta say, I was impressed. A lot more Tommy was so ass than I was expecting.
A lot of Tommy was so ass. I was about to say
there was a lot of sex scenes that I didn't know about.
I was about to say that. Yeah, a lot of sex scenes.
Interesting.
Yeah. The flower shop scene is pretty iconic.
Hi.
Can I help you?
Yeah. Can I have a dozen red roses, please?
Oh, hi, Johnny. I didn't know it was you. Here you go.
That's me. How much is it?
It'll be $18.
Here you go. Keep the change. Hi, doggy.
You're my favorite customer.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
That was one of the top ones for me personally.
Yeah.
Unaccompanied Minors, I think we watched just for the title alone.
Right.
And they're like, it was.
That was just the kids like trapped in the airport or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. And that was it. There wasn't much else to it.
Yeah, it was like The Breakfast Club, but in an airport and not.
Yeah. I think we were like, oh, this movie should be crazy. Listen to that title, Unaccompanied Minors.
Right. It sounds like it's gonna be.
What movie is that? And we watched it, and then it was like a perfectly serviceable like early 2000s kids movie.
Yeah.
We're like, okay. And those are the worst ones because like next up was like Get Santa, which was like that was another one. I think that wasn't really a completely competent movie. It was just really boring.
Yeah, I don't think we got past 30 minutes of that one.
Yeah,
that's like the one movie on this list we didn't watch in full.
Yeah, that was like one of the only few movies that we stopped watching.
Yeah,
we stopped watching Furry Vengeance.
Well, that was
halfway
because of
through.
the movie though.
Well, I was
the movie was good.
I was getting a little sick. I was a
Yeah.
little sick that day, so I was like, I can't do
Get
it.
Santa, we just like
And I went to bed weeping that night because I was like, I don't know what happens
How
at
does
the
it
end.
end? Still haven't finished it, by the way.
I didn't know.
We still haven't finished it.
Yeah, so
That was like a year ago.
I think we even picked it back up where we left off, and we still only got 10 more minutes in. And I'm like,
Eric's like, I gotta go, guys.
yeah. I'm like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I just know Brendan Fraser was getting f***ed over by some raccoons.
Ken Jeong was on a plane.
Yeah.
He didn't
and
leave the
Angela
plane.
from The Office was with him.
Yep.
And Brendan Fraser got f***ed over by some more raccoons.
Yeah.
And then Ken Jeong was on a plane again. And then Brendan Fraser, it was a cycle. Like, I don't really remember. And like, I don't know. I think he's gonna learn to go the way of the raccoon.
Right. Yeah.
I think he's gonna learn to
Be a
play
man.
with the raccoons.
He'll be one with
play against
nature.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas.
Pretty bad. Pretty bad.
That wasn't even a movie.
Yeah.
That was just literally like, this is just like
His retelling of Bible stories.
yeah, and it was like it was like positioned in a way of like a movie where it's just like Kirk Cameron got in a car with like it was very strange because it was like, you know, it was very much like one of the Christian movies that's like specifically just like
Propaganda.
yeah, a little propaganda.
Yeah.
Which is like you can make like a fine Christian movie
Yeah.
that's just like, oh, this
This is what's going on.
this is why, you know,
This is
our stories, and
Yeah.
this is why you should be a good person.
But this one was
this one was more so just straight up like just in the stupidest way possible, where they just like Kirk Cameron's brother-in-law isn't feeling the Christmas season.
Doesn't believe.
No, it's not that he doesn't believe. He's just not feeling the Christmas season. He's just like, I'm really stressed out right now, which is fair. You know, Christmas is a stressful time.
Lots to do.
And then Kirk Cameron gets in a car with him and just in park, you know, in the parking lot,
Just outside the Christmas
and it's
party.
just like, well, listen, I understand Christmas is stressful, but this is the story of Jesus Christ. And he just goes on about that for like 30 minutes. And I'm just like, that should make him more stressed out. I mean, this is what Jesus had to go through. F*** off. And like after he just tells the story of Jesus Christ, which has nothing to do with like why his brother-in-law is stressed out. He's just kind of stressed out about the season.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, oh, I never thought of it that way, Kirk. Thank you. I love Christmas now. And then at the end, he does a breakdance.
There's a breakdancing at the end, yeah.
Yeah. So overall, like, I liked Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas. I thought that was a
Uh-huh.
that was one of the top ones for me.
Really?
Outside of like the Bible retelling scenes, because those are a little slow.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like, I was like, I can get behind
There wasn't
this.
a whole lot outside of that, though.
I know.
Okay.
But I like those scenes.
Okay, clearly.
He broke dance at the end.
Clearly, he did. He did.
The Cat in the Hat. That was really
that
was
was great.
Yeah,
That was so good.
The main scene I really, really liked, and that one was literally like just like whatever. Alec Baldwin comes in the house and he's just like he sneezes. He's like, "Why am I sneezing?" Because he's allergic to cats. And then there's this really tense scene where Mike Myers' cat taps on his shoulders, and then the camera pans around and sees Mike Myers' cat face. Just kind of like looking at him.
Yeah.
That's all I like. That's the main part I like about.
That's
that
a
movie.
good bad movie, though.
That's a good.
Bad movie.
I think that movie gets too much hate. Like overall, like it's not great, but I think like when you look at like, all right, what they had to work with, like, and turn that book into a 90-minute movie. I think they did a decent job.
They stretched it. Yeah, they stretched it to work.
Well, I think they did a pretty decent job at it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like, oh, this is a great movie, but like I think like for what it's worth, I think like, oh, like I can't imagine like people going into that movie being like, I love the Cat in the Hat.
What is
And
this?
Then, yeah, I'm like,
what did they just show me?
like it's pretty much the Cat in the Hat, but with a bunch of like added into like the main plot, like between the main plot points.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like
It's just
adult
Mike Myers
innuendos.
being a dipshit for 90 minutes, kind of.
Yeah, and there's a lot of adult innuendos, but it's just like
Right.
I think they did a serviceable job taking that book and turning it into a movie.
Yeah. It
I
was
was
definitely
not-
interesting.
Like I don't understand how people could look at that and be like, God, that was a boring movie.
Yeah.
Like
It's
I'm just
not
like
a slog, yeah.
Like I'm just like I feel like you can definitely get a bit out of that movie if you're just watching and you're like, I just want to just go on a fucking trip for 90 minutes.
It's a good one to do it.
I think that one's pretty good.
It's a good one.
But then we have the Shaggy DA, one of the best.
What a back-to-back
One
that
of the
is.
best ones I've ever seen in my life.
If you're setting up a driving or something, have a double feature to play, Shaggy DA and Cat in the Hat. That'll
I
keep the
think-
crowd
yeah.
nice and aroused.
So this is like a sequel to the Shaggy Dog, which I know about the Shaggy Dog because like that was remade like kind of in our era movies, like Tim Allen.
Right, yeah.
I never saw that movie,
Yeah.
but like I just remember commercials for it.
Sure.
But they had like an old one in the 50s, and like after you saw this movie, you're like, oh, we got to see the Shaggy Dog. gotta see the Shaggy Dog. And we saw it, and it was like a black and white movie, and it wasn't what I was expecting.
Not as good.
It wasn't, yeah. Shaggy DA is like 70s special effects, like literally using like whatever, like these wooden rods to like control dog paws, and putting like a dude in a dog suit and having him run around and roller skate, and like have him punch people with dog paws.
The scenes of the dog being chased by the police are definitely worth the watch alone.
It was pretty good. I did like that.
And, and the guy bringing the dog to the bar trying to get him to sing every time.
Yeah, like,
it's like your dog can talk.
Yeah, so it's just like
because the guy turns into a dog.
Yeah. This guy notices that the dog can talk, and then he's like, "Oh my god! Like, we gotta bring you to the bar." And like he brings him to the bar to like be like, "All right, I'm gonna bet you $20 this dog can sing." All right.
But then his dog is switched with the dog that can't sing.
Yeah. So like, and then the dog switches back, and the dog, like dog can't talk after he starts betting that the dog can sing. So then it's just like, that's funny. And then 5 minutes later, he does it again.
The same exact thing.
The exact same scene just happens again. And I'm just like, I can't wait for the third time. Like, and it's not even that it ramps up.
No,
it's not even that it ramps up. It's just the same damn thing again.
It's like, oh good, you can talk again.
Oh my god,
Let's try
you can talk again. Let's go back to the bar and I'll bet $50.
Same thing happens.
We have a couple here: Mac and Me, Gooby, and Munchie.
Yeah, Mac and Me and Gooby. Munchie, I kind of forget about, but
I like Munchie.
I forget entirely about Munchie.
Munchie was that little gremlin thing.
We watched a lot of Gremlin things, honestly.
Nah, you're right.
They kind of blend together.
I liked Food Fight.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good
the
classic
Wicker Man.
shitter.
The Wicker Man was very disappointing to me personally.
That was the Nick Cage one, right?
Yeah,
Where
and
the
like
bees put on him.
And we accidentally watched like the rated version. Apparently, the unrated version has the bee scene.
Right.
I mean, like the one we watched was like cut down and like edited. So then like the bee scene just wasn't there, and the bee scene was like the most iconic part where like
not the bees.
It just wasn't a good movie.
Yeah,
that was just it.
There wasn't a whole lot else going on.
I think the problem is they had too much music. They had too much orchestral music in the background, and the problem is like that just made everything not scary. Like, the entire point was like to make this like unnerving feeling.
Yeah, because it was like this weird island he was stuck on.
Yeah, it was like a cult and something, and like he was
thing.
trying to figure out like what the deal with the cult was.
Yeah,
and like the entire movie was just like I don't know, when you have like this sweeping orchestral backing for like a horror movie like that or a thriller movie, which is what it's more so. It's not supposed to be like scary. It's supposed to be unnerving until like the final part where like they sacrifice him.
Yeah.
But the entire movie just had too much like sweeping orchestral music that just made it like more whimsical than than unnerving.
Yeah,
you know?
He's just exploring this weird island.
Yeah. Well, he put on a bear suit and then he punched somebody.
Did he?
He did.
Okay, I believe you. I just don't remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we were more disappointed by the lack of the bee scene in the cut we saw.
Yeah.
That was just unfortunate.
Yeah, pretty unmemorable, honestly.
Yeah, we saw Blood Orgy at Beaver Lake.
I remember the title.
I think all we did was that we saw the title. We were like, we gotta see this.
That's a lot. That's a lot going on.
And then it just kept playing, and then I think we played like Mario Kart or something. Like while it was going on.
I don't remember anything.
And they're like, welp.
It was just kind of some.
We watched that. We watched that next to. We watched this as like a double feature, like a drive-in double feature. We watched Blood Orgy at Beaver Lake and then Terror at Blood Fart Lake, and I forget what.
Not as good of a double feature.
I think Blood Orgy at Beaver Lake was a little more sexy.
I couldn't tell you the difference between them if you gave me a full movie.
I assume Beaver Lake was a little sexier.
Yeah.
Terror at Blood Fart Lake.
Well, one's an orgy. One's a blood orgy, at least.
And this one was a terror.
Yeah, that's just scary.
Yeah, the Flintstones and the Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas.
Good ones.
We watched the second one first.
Yeah.
And then the first one second.
As is tradition, kind of.
And Viva Rock Vegas was much better as like a bad movie, just like watching it.
Yeah, if you're gonna watch one of them, Viva Rock Vegas.
I prefer Viva Rock Vegas.
Yeah.
Open Season, Yogi Bear, Stuart Little. Stuart Little 2.
Yep, with the bird.
Chicken Little. We usually come up with just like a dumb like rhyming thing, or like we think the dad's name is Buck McCluck, even though
it's not.
Even though
it's just not.
I don't think it is.
I mean, it might be Buck.
I think his name is Buck.
It might be. I don't even remember.
But it's just like we just like rhyming it. Where
Buck McCluck sucks a truck out of his. Sucks a duck in his truck.
Yuck.
fucking yucks.
That was a pretty bad movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine.
I mean, I enjoyed it for what we made out of it.
It was pretty bad though.
Yeah.
Norm of the North.
Where's Grandpa? That's all I remember.
Well, the entire movie, like, you're trying to find Grandpa. Norm is trying to find his grandpa, and then we're like, during the entire movie, we're like, oh yeah, the working title was "Where's Grandpa?"
And then right at the end,
yeah. Well, I mean, like, it was like we're like, oh, that's all the kids are asking in the audience. They're like, "Where's Grandpa?
Yeah.
Where's Grandpa? Where's Grandpa?" And then we're like, oh, that's funny, you know, in working title. And then at the very end, we weren't expecting. Norm hits us with the line, "Where's Grandpa?" I'm like, holy shit.
we know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How do we know?
That's crazy. Horse Sense.
That was funny. Yeah,
the entire thing behind Horse Sense was that it was a Disney Channel original movie.
Yep.
We were watching it, and halfway through, Eric was like, "What was the name of this movie again?" Throughout the entire rest of the movie, he was just guessing what the name was.
Just guesses of it.
Yeah, that's all I remember about that movie.
Yeah.
But then we watched a couple shows. We watched Paradise PD. We watched
I've only seen some episodes of that. You guys have seen
Hoops.
Hoops I've seen.
Yeah,
Hoops I know.
We just liked watching like really poor Netflix adult animated shows, which
It's
were
like penis.
The entire thing with Hoops was just him going like,
Yeah,
"My ass is bleeding."
basically. Yeah.
And, like that's literally like his,
You fucking dumb kids.
yeah, like, that's literally the entire show.
Yeah.
Troll 2.
Oh, you got me. You knew what I. You knew what I
We
wanted.
saw Troll 2. We need to
Yeah.
watch Troll 1 and Troll 3.
Yeah.
There's 2 Troll 3s.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many Troll 2s are there? Just one?
One.
How many Troll 1s?
One.
How many Troll 4s?
There might be a couple Troll 4s. I'm not sure yet. But we can look into
works.
it. We can look into it.
Okay.
Godzilla versus Megalon. That was Jet Jaguar.
Okay, I was gonna say I have nothing to add to this.
We didn't watch the whole thing. We just fast forwarded to the end.
Okay.
Where like most of the Godzilla movies are like you'd expect it to be like, oh, this is gonna be like monsters fighting the entire time.
It's like 80% just human talk.
Yeah, I've seen a couple Godzilla movies, and pretty much it's like 60% humans talking, 30% of the time, like Godzilla's just kind of there, and it's just like, oh my god, that's Godzilla.
What's he gonna do?
And then at the end, they usually have like a big fight, and then that's usually, in a big fight, I mean like 10 minutes, and that's usually it for Godzilla movies. At least that's the experience I've had.
Yeah.
You know,
It's probably cheaper, just
yeah.
quick fight throw in there.
It's probably easier just to watch them on YouTube, as in just watch the fighting scenes on YouTube, and then you're like, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, unless you're really into the
That was a
lore.
little corny. That was funny.
Unless you're really into
that was
the
a good
lore,
time.
what's going on, why it's happening.
Yeah, and then we saw Cats and Dogs, which the only
Did we?
yeah we did.
Describe Cats and Dogs.
The only thing I remember from that movie is, I mean, I've watched that movie a lot as a kid.
Was that the one where they could talk?
The dogs, yeah.
Oh, and the cats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm back in.
If you remember anything about cats, there's another cat-related thing we've seen, but I think there's a...
Was that Alec
cat-
Baldwin dog? Was that?
he is a dog.
Well, was he a dog? But he's also a dog.
He's a dog.
He's a dog, but was he a dog?
Yeah, I think it was a dog.
Okay, I
think it was like the German Shepherd or something that was like the alpha male or something. No, the main thing about that movie was that that was like the movie that Eric talked about. Like his sister took it out of like the VHS player. Like after, like his family sat down. Like imagine the Turney family sitting down all nice and cozy.
Yeah.
Like it's like this perfect
shoulder to shoulder on the couch.
This perfect family shot of like like Eric is just like laying on his mom's lap
just
or something.
Just the Simpsons
and,
couch.
And like his dad is just like just looks like very prim and proper, just like with his family, just like and doing that.
Cats and dog plays.
Then he says his sister got up after the movie, took the VHS out of the player or like the DVD out of the player, and just threw it against the wall. And then he said, and then they were like, "Why did you do that?" And then he said, like, because she said, like, the movie was so good.
So he just broke it.
Yeah. And then he said that was one of the only 2 movies he's seen with his family. The other 2 was Racing Stripes.
How have we not seen Racing Stripes yet?
Because there's too much lore beyond that one. It's like because Eric says like he only remembers Racing Stripes for like, oh yeah, we saw Racing Stripes in the theater. And then we got Fazoli's afterwards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, the only time we can go to Racing Stripes if we go to Fazoli's afterwards.
True.
And I think he said his dad didn't go to that one, so I think we have to see with his dad.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
We can rope him into that.
And then we saw Cats.
We sure did.
Yeah.
We sure did.
There's a certain guy.
That needs to be its own video, honestly.
I
don't know if we can squeeze that in.
We're gonna have to rewatch Cats.
Yeah.
It's like the second time. Like you guys have seen it twice.
At least twice.
I've seen it 3 times.
Maybe 3 times.
Because
yeah.
like I saw it in the theater.
Right.
And then we saw it together.
And then we watched it while signing.
Yeah, we were signing some autographs.
Yeah.
And we were like, all right, we got to put on, like, because like we were going through like 1,500 or something.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, we got to put something on in the background. So we put on Cats because like Dominic was there.
Yeah.
Dominic hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And we were like, all right,
you gotta watch this.
This is the perfect signing movie. So we got a 4th coming up soon.
Yeah.
So we gotta do that one.
Yeah.
Maybe when we're going to like Philadelphia,
on the
we
plane.
can play it on the plane. And just kind of get more up to date.
Yeah. Get our references back. Get all the songs down.
Yeah. There was
a lot of songs.
There was The Incredible Mr. Limpet.
That was the old one.
The Horny Fish movie.
Horny Fish, yeah.
Horny Fish movie.
We wanted to become a fish or something.
Yeah, he wanted to become a fish, but
fish.
Yeah, he fell in love with a fish.
Yeah.
And then his human wife saw him as a fish.
Didn't he also like?
And then he was like, I'm happy now.
Didn't he also like stop the Nazis? As
yeah.
A fish? Okay.
Yeah, he stopped. Yeah. He stopped World War II.
Yeah,
as a fish.
As a fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Enough
then there was Freddy Got Fingered. Which that was just like that was an experience. That movie is
Daddy,
surreal.
Like
that movie
Daddy,
is
would you
surreal.
like some sausages?
I like. Look at my hooves. Look at my hooves. Clippity clop, clippity clop. Look at my hooves. Look at my hooves. That movie is interesting because like I don't know if it was like a satire or not. Because like Tom Green, like that was like his style of humor of just being kind of like loud and crazy and just doing weird, disgusting things in front of the camera. This movie was pretty much that.
Yeah.
But like the way it was
Jerks off a horse.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. I think like that movie was just really bizarre because like watching it, you just get this sense of like they know and they're making they're making fun of like the American Pies or like the scary movies or whatever, like those like kind of gross out PG-13 R-rated comedies for like stoners or something.
Yeah.
Like it feels like this movie is aware of that and they're trying to like be like, oh, you know, Hollywood will fund anything, so I'm just gonna do the stupidest thing possible. Yeah. And like there's some actual like humorous parts in the movie. Yeah. Like there's some actual like
we still make jokes about some of them.
Yeah, like there's some like whatever, like, you know, he just like I don't know, he has like diamonds at the end for some reason. Yeah, he's just like, I got you jewels. Make your daddy proud. Yeah, it's just like
proud, daddy.
There's like legitimate scenes of like humor in the movie where it's just like it feels more than just genuine dumb.
It's definitely
it feels
odd,
like
but
it feels like they actually thought through like a joke and they were like, oh, that's actually kind of funny, but it's just like I don't know. Yeah. Because like people have brought up they're just like, I don't know if the people who made this movie are smart enough to do this and they might have just like fell into this being like this like satirical masterpiece kind of thing. But I don't know. I think that's what makes the movie so elusive is the fact that like nobody knows if it's aware or not. If it's an actual satire.
I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, because like when we watched it, I'm like, this might have been the stupidest or most ingenious movie I've ever seen, and I don't know.
Yeah, both.
I think to wrap up everything, the 50 Shades trilogy.
Just the boys movie night.
Yeah, we were just like the boys all get together and we watch all 3 of the movies.
Yep.
3 days in a row.
Yep.
That was like
underwhelming.
Because like the story was bad.
I watched it for the plot.
The story wasn't good. The first movie ends with like them breaking up.
Yeah.
And I just felt
the first movie is he wants someone to doink with.
Mm-hmm.
In excessive ways.
Of course.
And she's like, I'll try it out. And they do a little bit of that. But then it goes too far.
Well, I mean, she likes it for a bit, but then he goes too far with it.
Yeah.
And he's also not very like savvy with like just emotions and stuff like
that.
And she's like, I'm done, I'm out. And that's where the movie ends. Like the movie just ends there.
Yeah, she gets
and
in
it's
the
just like,
leave
okay. I guess the entire point of the movie is that like she's a lot shy and just kind of like not like
as expressive, I guess.
I guess at the beginning, and then at the end
confident.
she's confident with just being like, no.
Yeah.
I'm
my own person now.
And I'm like, this. Okay, fair enough. Like,
but then in number 2,
you know,
15 minutes in, they're back together.
Yeah, I'd say even 10.
Yeah.
Like it's just like all it takes is like a dinner.
Yeah.
A dinner date. Like Christian Grey has a dinner date with her.
And they sign like the thing that's like, all right, we won't do the dumb. We won't go that far anymore.
Yeah.
We won't pass that line.
And what happens in number 2?
Is that the one where he gets kidnapped?
No, that's 3.
Okay.
So what happened in number 2?
they do stuff. They do.
Yeah, I don't know what happens in number 2.
Yeah.
And then number 3, she
Wedding.
gets kidnapped and they get married.
Yeah.
And they have a kid.
Yeah. There's not much else besides a couple doink scenes.
Yeah, the ranking is 1, 3, 2.
Pretty easily, yeah.
Yeah.
But Morbius is still.
Morbius is pretty good.
It's pretty good.